up, you guys? Welcome back. My name is Tiffany.
And I'm Angie.
And welcome to Sugar and Spice TV.
So today we are going to talk about single life. We are both single women, independent working women, and we're going to talk about it. This is a huge topic. I'd say from ages 18 to 35, this is a very big topic. And we're going to address it from two different perspectives. We both have different experiences and different perspectives on things. So hopefully you gain something from our perspectives. We'd like to inform you and encourage you in case you may be struggling in this area. Believe me, we know about it. So we're just going to talk about some general questions. We're going to kind of interchange back and forth, and we hope that you receive something out of this video. But first, before we start, let's define single. Right. Because there are different definitions of single. There's a worldly view or societal view, and then there's a more biblical view. We're going to address it from a biblical standpoint, okay? When we say single, we mean single. We don't mean single and sleeping around. We don't mean we're single but we have friends with benefits that we really sleep. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about single and celibate. We're not single and sex free. That's what we're talking about, okay? So we just want you to know that before we get into this video. But regardless if you're in church, out of church, or somewhere in between the church, this is just some good practical information from our experience that we believe is going to help you out. So stick around. We believe that you enjoyed the video. So we'll get right into it, okay?
All right, so we're going to get into question number one. And the question number one was, tell about your journey as a single woman. And for me, I can summarize my singlehood in one word, and that would be a beautiful mess. Since I can remember, since high school, I always had the desire of wanting to be married. Just an innocent desire to wanting to be married. I wanted to graduate high school, move off to college in another state, get married, have children, settle down. That was my idea of what I wanted. So that was a desire that I had, and that was what I was going after. And that desire soon turned into desperation. And, you know, dealing with someone like me that grew up in the church, that all I knew was about church, going to church, waiting on God for marriage, all that type of stuff. I didn't really have a lot of understanding about boyfriends and all of that stuff. Well, anyway, that, like I said, that desperation ended up turning into desperation. And desperation, if not handled correctly, can be very detrimental. And because of that, it was in 2013 when I thought I was in love with this guy. I ended up losing my virginity to this guy in 2013, and that was definitely one of the heaviest times of my life. Number one is it was because it was with a guy that did not fear God, that did not go to church, that didn't want anything to deal with church, first of all, and two, being someone that never knew about this, didn't grow up like this. I didn't grow up having boyfriends. I mean, that was the first guy I ever had and still ever had in my life. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with my emotions and how I felt. It felt like I was attached to this guy. Like there was this grip that I cannot explain, but there was this grip that I could not let this guy go. And it was a crazy feeling, but I can understand why God put sex for marriage, because it's a grip that is like no other. And I was just depressed a lot. I was just in this dark place a lot. You know, like I said, you know, when you're doing the deed, you know, it seems fun and feels good or whatever like that. But it's like after you go home and you by yourself alone at night, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And, you know, that's how it was with me at night. I would just be crying and depressed and just, I didn't feel myself, and I wasn't myself. And it was nobody but the hand of God that kept my mind. My dad would come over to visit, to pray for me. My mom, she would send me messages and text messages and emails just to encourage me, because I literally felt like giving up on life. I'm dead serious, y'all. I felt like giving up on life. I was depressed. I cried all the time. And it was nothing but God. And God knew that I wanted to get out of that, but I didn't have the strength. I didn't know how to get out of it. But it was nothing about maybe 6 months later, the following year, that God made a way of escape for me. And the guy ended up moving to another city. And that was what I needed. And it's been almost going on 4 years that, you know, I've been doing better. I've been celibate. I haven't been in and out of nowhere. God has been keeping me, and I know it was nothing but the hand of God. Nothing but the hand of God.
My journey, 29 years old. I've talked to guys in the past, but it never flourished into a relationship. So I can't say that I've ever had a legitimate relationship, but I have talked to guys for periods of time. Outside of that, God has allowed me to maintain my virginity up to this point. Thankfully, he's given me the strength to do that. And with that, I feel like single life for me has been a necessary process for me. It's taken me time through the years and through experiences to be able to get to the point where I view single life the right way. It's taken me time to be able to embrace and accept that single is my reality right now. It's taken me time to recognize that this season of my life is not an attack. This is not a punishment. This can be a blessing, you know, if done and viewed the right way. So it's definitely been a process. I feel like I'm a late bloomer and that I catch on to things very late. But I really do believe that it's been a necessary process. Through time, through experiences, I've learned more so, and I'm still learning. Just because we're talking about this does not mean that we're perfect by any means in this area, because we still struggle at times, but I've learned some things that have helped me view this season of my life as more of a blessing rather than some sort of curse. Helped me change the way that I look at my attitude. So, you know, it's been necessary. It's not, you know, being single has not always been bad. My sister talked about how she always wanted to be married early. That wasn't really me. I didn't really get into guys for real till I got in college, you know, really having the desire to be with someone, a companion, a boo. You know, not till college. In high school, you know, I was kind of just weird like that. I didn't talk a lot, you know. But in college, you know, I started to have more so that desire to be with someone. And like Tiffany, I didn't have that. I didn't have a boyfriend in college. But like you guys know, I've never had a legitimate relationship. So it became more difficult. And as I get older, I found that it became more difficult to me. Not impossible, but more of a challenge. So a necessary process has been my journey through time and through experiences. I've learned to look at this thing from a balanced, a healthy, more of a positive viewpoint. So, yeah. Question number 2. I'll start that off. It's, what is my view of singlehood? And have my views changed? Are they different now than what they were in the past? Yes. Yes, my views are different. To be real honest with you, I feel like singlehood is necessary. It is a necessary process to learn to live alone, successfully alone and independently. I really, truly do feel that this process has been needed in my life. I feel like I'm at the point where I'm really working on just my self-identity. And I want to have a grip on certain things in my life before somebody enters or I enter somebody else's life. A good thing for me at the wrong time is just a train wreck. You know, a good man coming in my life, or I'm coming into a man's life at the wrong time, it won't be right. And I want it to be right. You know what I'm saying? So just self-identity has been really big for me, learning who I am, being confident in that woman, whose I am, learning what I believe in, what I stand for. You know, what is priority to me? What is, you know, what are my strengths? Recognizing my weaknesses, you know, dealing with my insecurities because I have them. And honestly, it took time for me to even recognize that I had certain insecurities in my life that may not have shown its face real well in the past, but now it's just like, whoa, I did not know that was there. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I feel like it's important for me to gain that self-identity, that confidence in who I am, where I'm going, my goals, what I will and will not accept. That's important for me because I feel like if I don't have that, being single, I can easily get wrapped up in a man, get consumed in this man, and lose myself when I was never found to begin with. And that's really big for me, you know. And I feel like when you have a good grip on who you are as an individual, which takes time. I feel like you're able to bring perspective to that relationship, that you're not losing yourself. You're not becoming so consumed that, you don't, you just completely lost yourself, so that's where I am. I feel like at this point, I've not always viewed this as positive. Honestly, I've used it as an attack. I viewed it as God was punishing me. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't holy or saved enough. I wasn't a good enough Christian for God to see fit to bless me in that area. So I criticized myself a lot. Maybe I'm not desirable enough. Maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I'm too much of this and I'm too much of that. Maybe I have too many emotional issues for anybody to even want to love me or the right way. So I did a lot of that, which often led to me being frustrated, depressed, doubtful, worried, really wasn't trusting God. I'm more so mad and bitter. And honestly, that sort of thought process will cause you to make the wrong choice. The wrong choice. You stay mad about this season, you're going to do two things. Either you're going to become bitter and be like, bump this, bump this. I'm about to do my own thing. Or you can still wait, but wait with the wrong attitude and allow this season to go to waste. Not be productive at all. Sitting, waiting on somebody to come around and not doing anything to better yourself, better your life. So as far as where I am in my view, I believe it's a necessary part of life. It's necessary to learn how to be independent. It's necessary to learn how to live successfully alone and be content. That's necessary. I just that's where I am right now, gaining a higher sense of self-identity and acceptance for myself. So when bae do come around, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm at a very solid point in my life, where we can work successfully together, and that's pretty much where I am. So
really, she made some really good points. They actually kind of go into what I was going to say too, of how I view it, how I used to view it. I used to view it as a curse. Like literally, like she said, I used to view it as a curse. I'm like, me and her, we beautiful, we intelligent, we smart, we got our heads on straight. Why don't we got a man? I don't get this. I do not get this, God. Like, why don't we got a man? And that mentality, like she said too, caused me to be frustrated, caused me to be upset and murmuring with God, like, God, why this, God, why that? And that's why I made the decision that I made, thinking that I have to have a man. You don't have to have anything. The only thing we have to have, or the only thing that we need, is God. So whenever something becomes more needful than God, it has become an idol. And that's what it became for me. It became an idol. But how my view of it is now, like Angie was saying, that singleness is a season that everybody must experience. You can't push your way out of that, because like she said, if you try to rush your way out of the season that God has destined for you to be in, to be single, it's shipwreck. I had wrote a status on Facebook not long ago that anything rushed, if any relationship rushed, is rushed to be ruined. So anything that you try to pursue so fast and it's not your time, it's going to mess up. So the things that I've learned, my view of just, learning how valuable you are, knowing who you are, knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you will take and what you won't take. Without that season of learning who you are, without that season of spending time with yourself, for some reason, I just like to have people around, especially a guy. I just wanted to have him around. I didn't want to be by myself. I don't know why. But it's just like, I've been learning, like, Tiffany, sometimes just spend time with yourself. Talk to yourself. Take yourself out. Go to a movie. It's okay to be alone. You're a gift. And I would treat myself like I wasn't a gift. But I'm just learning to just wait on God. And I'm learning to view this season as something that is necessary and something that is helping me to become a better woman. So,
and let me just add a piece to that. When you do not learn to live alone successfully, if you don't learn to live alone and be content, if you have to have somebody in your life, that is grounds for future mistreatment.
Right.
if you feel like somebody has to be there, you have a lot of women and men who have not gotten to the place where they're okay with being alone, and a lot of times they get people, they're abused or emotionally and physically abused, and they accept it because they have not gained a grip on who they are.
Right.
On who they are. If you don't learn who you are and become confident in that person, I'm telling you this, and this just kind of came to my mind, and it's so important. You will be looking for assurance you will be looking for men or for women to fill voids in you that they can't fill.
Right.
You'll be looking for them to complete you. You'll be looking for them to fill spots that's been there for years. And when they can't do it, you become frustrated.
Exactly.
And that's because you've never gotten to a point where you become confident in who you are by yourself.
Right.
So that's why that season of being alone, learning who you are, sleeping alone, eating alone, going out alone, it's okay. It's okay to do that, because when somebody, again, like I stated earlier, when they do come along, you're able to keep it in perspective. And perspective is so important. You lose perspective, it's grounds to fall, and it's grounds to fall real quick. So.
All right. Our number 3 question was how to make single life easier. First of all, and I'm speaking from someone that, like I said, I lost my virginity. When you have opened yourself up to that door, after that, and especially if you're trying to stay celibate, it is not easy. It's not easy. I'm a living testimony of it. It's not easy. So for those that have went down that route or that are still struggling with that route, I understand where you're coming from, because it's not easy. A lot of times when you're in the church, the first thing they say, well, go pray about it, go fast about it until the feeling's gone, or go exercise and work out. Yeah, that helps a little bit. Go sing about it. I've been running for Jesus for a long time. I'm not tired yet. Then you get home after the whole service, you didn't shout it off. You get into bed, go to sleep, and all of a sudden you just get just frustrated that fast. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that it's not easy. It's not easy, trying to keep yourself and trying to serve God and not giving in to the flesh. It's not easy. But the one thing that has helped me, and the one thing that has kept me where I am today, is remaining or gaining a prayer life with God. I'm telling you this from experience. If I didn't keep a prayer life with God, if I didn't keep my mind meditating on God like the word of God says day and night, I would not be where I am today. If you don't keep a connection with God, if you don't pray to God, if you don't be real with God, you give God no room to come in to help you. And you're going to be falling every time. So that's one thing that I've learned to help make my walk easier, being single. And just keeping a prayer life. I mean, y'all, I pray like I'm a crazy woman. I'm praying in the morning. I'm praying on my way to work. I'm praying in the shower, because the devil is he's waiting. He's waiting for that weak spot to come. He's waiting to try to allow me to fall again. He's waiting for that. And sometimes those feelings come, the feelings of wanting to be touched again, wanting, to have sex again. And it's just like my flesh is screaming, and I have to sit up and hold myself sometimes. And I'm literally calling on the name of Jesus, Jesus, Jesus to help me until those emotions pass. But that's one thing, just praying to God, asking God to keep and help me. And the second thing is just staying busy. As you all know, that I do modeling, and I really, love that, because it kind of takes my mind off of a lot. Also just with our YouTube channel, working to do this. So really just keeping myself busy and just really maintaining, not just doing it one time and stop doing it, but maintaining an absolute prayer life with the Lord.
Couple things, and I hope we're not boring you guys, but this is we're giving you some experience, we're giving you some real, hopefully you guys are gaining some things up to this point. How to make single life easy. I don't believe that it was ever meant to be easy. Living a life, especially in the society that we live in, where sex is everywhere. Everybody got a boo. You got 12-year-olds that got boyfriends and girlfriends. So being older, I'm hitting 30. You know what I'm saying? So as you get older and it becomes more difficult, I do not believe that the goal was for it to just be simple and easy. But there are things that we can do to make it easier and make the season and our life more enjoyable. Number 1, get a life. Get a life.
Right.
If you are spending all of your time consumed with the thought of being in a relationship, there's something wrong with that. There is more to your life, to my life, than waiting on some guy to come around or waiting on some woman to come around. There's more to life than that. So if you feel like you're consumed and you're not being productive, you need to get a life.
Right.
We got to get a life.
Right.
Let me say this piece when it comes to getting a life. Find something to be passionate about. Find something that you like to do. Find something to be interested in outside of just how quick and how fast I can find somebody.
Right.
How can I get some attention? How can I get in a relationship? Find something to keep you busy. As she stated, when I'm busy, you know, I don't got time to just be, oh my God, I need a man.
Right.
I don't have time to do that. You know, when I'm working, trying to better myself, trying to get my finances, you know, where I want them to be, you know, just working on myself takes enough time. You know, I'm not perfect. I know, you know, you may not, but I'm just saying, I'm not perfect. You know, so I have things within myself, character issues that I have to continue to work on, you know, so get a life.
Right.
Find something to do with your time. Understand that there's more to your life than just trying to get somebody there. Because if you're not ready for it, it's going to end anyway.
Exactly.
You know, it's not going to be successful. Number 2, find somebody to talk to. You need somebody to talk to. I go through these phases. Some days I'm just good. You know, being single is just like, I'm good. I can do what I want, when I want, how I want. Nobody's telling me anything. I'm not toting children around. You know, they're a blessing, but I'm good. You know, and I'm kind of used to that. I've been that way for 29 years. So sometimes it's just no thing. I'm just doing my thing. I'm used to it. Other times I'm just like, this single stuff is for the birds. Like, this is dumb. Like, this is dumb. Because most of us, let's be real, guys, most of us don't have to be single. Right now, if we wanted to, we know who to call. We can get it how we get it and just be done with it. So we're making a choice because we want to do it the right way, and that's awesome. But the thing is, you know, find somebody to talk to when you go through those phases, you know, where it's hard. And then I go through other phases where I'm just like, God, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. Oh my God, I'm just going to be old and walking around in a house coat with cats all over the place. And oh my God. And then I start getting scared and fearful. And it makes me think about doing stuff or going out and doing stuff that I know I should not be doing. You know, so find somebody to talk to who got some common sense and who can help you keep this thing in perspective. The person I talk to is my mom. Like, Mom, and sometimes I'm having the same conversation because sometimes I just need to be assured that your time is coming. It's going to happen. You're not the only one that feels this way. You know, it's not about you. It's just a timing thing. Sometimes I just need that perspective because when I get stuck in my thoughts for too long, it ain't good. It ain't good at all. So, yeah. And stay prayerful, as she stated. I don't have to go back through that. Trust in God. You cannot, like, wholeheartedly, sincerely trust God and stay mad in the season of your life. If you trust God, you believe He got your back. He knows who's best for you. He's creating him or her for you. You know, if you truly believe that, you know, you're going to have the right attitude about this season of your life. But if you don't, and that's been a struggle for me, sometimes you don't trust God the way that you think you do. Especially in areas like these. It's like, God, especially when you're living in a place where you feel like ain't nobody here.
Not one soul.
Nobody here, okay? Everybody dusty. You feel me? There's nobody here. You know, so you're fighting with what you don't see. You don't see a prospect. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and you know, you want somebody that's on your, you know, with the same thought process, going the same direction. And the people that's coming to you, you know, they're on a total different journey. So it's just like, oh God, like, man, what's up? And you start to get scared. So you have to be careful. So stay prayerful. Trust in God, you know, really, you got to really deal with that. Do I really trust God? And God, I'm be honest, I don't trust you like I should. Give me the strength. Because if you don't give me the strength, I'm just bust up out of this and I'm gonna just do my own thing. So that's what I got.
All right, and our number 4 question was how to make single life difficult. So we talked about how to make it easier, and this is how you can make your single life difficult. And number one for me, like I stated earlier, is like making it an idol. Whenever you make a relationship an idol, and what I mean by this, if God doesn't give you a boyfriend, or you're not in a relationship by this and this time, and all of a sudden your whole relationship with God changes, you've made it an idol. And that's how it was with me. If I didn't get a text back from him, if he didn't call me back, if he not coming over to see me, I'm mad with God. I'm not even about to pray. That's messed up. You got your priorities all in the wrong place. So if you to the point where if God doesn't give you this man, or if God, to the dudes, if God doesn't give you this woman, you walk away from God, you've made it an idol, and you've made it harder than it has to be. So just keep it in this perspective. Lord, I'm still going to trust you, even though I don't have a man in my life right now. And I've had to learn. It took me a minute to get to this point, because y'all, I'm telling you, after too long without having nobody on my phone line calling me or texting me, I'm back in my depressed mode. I'm not praying. I'm not fasting like I should. And it was just a whole mess. So make sure you keep it in its perspective. And no matter what, if God doesn't give you a man, if you don't ever get married or whatever, you still must have your trust remain in God. And another thing that will make it difficult for you is when you begin to compare your life with other women. Man, I used to do that a lot. I mean, I would see women, and I'm happy for them. They'd be married, divorced, whatever, what happened. Months, year later, they married again, and they're happily married. Hey, and I'm like, can I just get one man? Like, can I just get one man? One hombre? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just one? I mean, can I be asked on one date? I mean, can I go to the movies one time? You know what I'm saying? And that can make you frustrated. I mean, literally ask my sister. We used to come home from eating out somewhere. We used to sit in the front room, and I'm just talking to her, and she just laughing because I'm being straight up. Like, I don't understand that. Like, God, what's up with that? You know, what's up with that? Like, why is it that we can't get one man, and they can go through multiple relationships, multiple marriages, and we're trying to be the best that we can be, and we can't get one king coming our way. You know what I'm saying? So I learned, and God has taught me to stop comparing my life with somebody else's. Yeah. To trust God that, you know, God may know, had I had several relationships, I'm at this point, I may be emotionally wrecked by now. You know what I'm saying? So we have to trust that God knows what's best for us. God knows what's best for her. Maybe even though she had 2 marriages, God knows what's best for her. God knows what's best for me. So I had to learn to stay in my lane. Stay in my lane, allow God to work on me, because I tell you one thing, when he brings me my prince, it's all said and done. So I'm trusting that when God brings me the man that he has for me, I'm going to be ready. Physically, spiritually, naturally, financially. Lord, help me with my finances. But I'm going to be ready, and he's going to bring me the man of my dreams. So, yeah.
And what I believe can make single life more difficult than what it needs to be, as she said, comparing your life, your journey to somebody else's. I have friends that are older than I am and younger that are married. They have children. They're dating. They're engaged. All different, you know, areas of life. So when I find myself comparing myself, I start to get unsettled. When I get unsettled, I get fearful. When I get fearful, I get upset. I'm confused. And during that time, you can make some really bad decisions out of fear. So I can't compare my life to somebody else's. Angie's on a journey that only Angie can walk. And just because somebody else is at another point in their life doesn't mean that they're doing any better or any worse than I am. Don't compare. We can't compare ourselves. Number 2, giving too much attention to the wrong thoughts. Sometimes I still kind of battle with this. We all, especially, you know, singles, especially older singles, I feel like older singles tend to deal with this more. You get these really unhealthy thoughts. You're going to be single for the rest of your life. Why are you living celibate? You know, don't nobody care about that. Nobody cares about that. You going to just all these crazy thoughts. You know, you're gonna be old, an old maid with cats in your house, and don't nobody want you, and you got too many issues. focus too much on those thoughts, you start to get fearful, and a lot of times we tend to entertain things, ideas, people that we wouldn't have if we were focused. So we got to be careful, and I'm speaking to myself too, what we focus our thoughts on.
Exactly.
If it's not doing anything to build us up, if it's only depressing us and making us fearful and frustrated, we have to think about what we're thinking about.
Reevaluate it.
Let's see, what else I got? Having the wrong attitude about being single, and this is the last one that I have. If you do not view singlehood, if we don't view singlehood the right way, it's only going to lead, and I said this earlier, to two things. You're going to get tired of it. You're going to be like, bump this.
Right.
I'm about to go out there. I'm about to do what I do. I'm about to find somebody because, you know, you've developed these feelings. You know, you're not seeing it the right way to even begin with. You're viewing it the wrong way to begin with. So what's the point of staying with it? You don't even see it the right way. Being single is a choice that we're making. Ultimately, if you really think about it, we're making a choice to be single until we believe God sends us somebody. So if we're going to wait, we might as well wait with the right attitude. What's the point of waking up being mad every day? I'm telling you, it makes life miserable. It makes life miserable. So we got to continue to work on just viewing this thing the right way, making sure we're viewing it in a positive light, because this is not a negative thing. And lastly, being around the right people. We got to be around the right group of people. It's really important for us to be around people that are kind of like-minded.
Wanting to do
It's not good for me to be around everybody who's doing their thing. It's just not good. You know, when I say doing their thing, they're going out, they're sleeping around, you know, they're getting it how they get it. You know, that's probably not the best thing for me to be around consistently. So I have to watch who I'm around, making sure I'm around those who are on the same road that I'm on, or seeking to be on that road. So that's how I believe you can make single life more difficult. And all this single season of our life is not meant to be a curse. It's not meant to be a negative, but we most definitely have to be productive in this season. God has somebody for us. And although we don't know, and it's frustrating not to know, like, oh, like what? When is it, God? Who is he going to be? How tall is he going to be? Is he dark skinned? Is he light skinned? You know, all that. Well, we don't know those things, but we have to trust. We really have to trust that God knows, and trust his timing, and understand that he can hook us up better than we can hook ourselves up. Some of us are just tired of just getting with jokers for real. You know, so let's continue to wait and let's stay encouraged. So that's all we got. I know this was pretty long, but we hope that you receive something out of this video. We want you to subscribe.
Subscribe below.
Yes, if you have something that you'd like to add to this, maybe your own personal experience, questions, if it was something that we said that stuck out to you, please comment below. We'd love to read those comments. Grab a friend, grab some young people out of your church, grab a niece, a nephew, some men, women who needs to hear something like this. Bring them together and allow them to hear this message, because we understand we're coming from two different perspectives, and we hope that it helped. So subscribe. We love you guys, and peace out.
Peace out.